Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to my IG Live. This is Shay Hope, also known as the Hope Strategist. And as promised, I'm doing an IG Live today with a very special guest. We're starting in exactly 1 minute now, so I definitely wanted to give everyone a chance and an opportunity to come on. So I'm going to give it a couple of minutes and allow people to join us before we get started. You definitely don't want to miss this conversation today. And I'm hoping that some of you are able to join. If not, hopefully some of you will be able to see the video later and definitely get something out of it. I guarantee you'll like the information. So how is everyone today? It is a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day, right? Every day is a beautiful day above ground. That's what I always say. So 11:30. Well, if anyone knows me very well, you know that I am punctual. So I am definitely getting started right now. Again, blessings and abundance, everyone. That is my saying from, well, it's not my saying. It's a saying that I've adopted from a couple that I follow, life coaches that started the Abundant Life Nation, and that is their saying. And I just love that. I love everything that it embodies, blessings and abundance. So we are going to go ahead and get started today. The topic of discussion, I named it Taking Charge of Your Healing. So we're coming off the heels of Mental Health Awareness Month. That was the month of May. And quite honestly, we should really be aware of our mental health every month, every day. And right now, a lot of people are just really going through a difficult time. Things are, and when I say a difficult time, I mean some people are going through things where they just feel like they don't know where to turn. They feel like this life just isn't manageable anymore. They feel alone. They feel overwhelmed. They feel defeated. And I can relate to all of those feelings. There have been times in my life where I just felt like I really just don't know what I'm doing. I really just think I'm messing this all up, right? So, hey, Cree, looks like you just joined. Oh, please tell me you're coming in. I want to get you on here. Are you going to send a request to join in? Okay, awesome. Okay, it says view request. Well, where is it? There we go. So hopefully she's coming on.
There it is.
Hi, beautiful.
Hey. There it is. Sometimes it takes a little minute.
I know. I was like, okay, where is it? Come on, show me.
You're so silly.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm well. How are you, sis?
I'm great. Look, I am. It's what, a little cloudy, but I don't care. I got sunshine.
I know that's right.
Happy.
Yes,
I'm happy.
ma'am. Yes to the sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for getting on. Like I was saying before you got on, I was like, if I'm nothing else, I'm definitely punctual. So I'm like, we're going to get started with this discussion. Like I couldn't wait, and I couldn't think of a better person to talk to about this than you. So it was just perfect that I saw you last week and we were able to connect. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've got to get Cree on a live with me. So thank you so much for agreeing to join at such, at the last minute.
At the
Really,
last
I
minute.
gave you like a couple of days notice, like, hey, can you do a live?
You did. But, there are some people that, they send a request and you just like too easy. So listen, now I don't want everybody to hit me with last minute requests.
Right.
No. But for you, always. Herbal sensations, peace and blessings, sis. How are you? I see somebody commenting.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hey,
Hi, Herbal Sensations. Oh, I like
thank you
the
for joining.
sensations. That's
Yeah, it was
awesome.
on the live that I was doing yesterday, actually, and we connected and we're talking about some different things, and so we just followed one another yesterday. So I appreciate you for joining.
Awesome. I like that too. All
Yes,
right. Well, there are, I'm sure there are people on here that absolutely know who you are, but for those who don't, I want
yes.
to be able to properly introduce my guest speaker today. So Cree Cunningham is not only a friend, she is also, hold up, let me get this bio right. Licensed clinical social worker, perinatal mental health provider, intuitive, light worker, founder of Healing Sacred Scars. And I really want to know what that is all about, how you came up with that name, what that means, because I love the whole vibe of that. Healing Sacred Scars, healing itself. The
Mhm.
topic of this IG live is taking charge of your healing,
Yes.
because there's so much healing that needs to go in the world right now. Like we were discussing, and prior to COVID, so pre-COVID, people were going through things, right? But it seems like COVID made people more aware of their
Right.
stuff. And it's like some people were able to, bounce through COVID and do well and make money and have, but a lot of people really struggled. And some people are still feeling that after effect. And I've been speaking with people who are literally right now, they just feel like they haven't been able to get back on the upswing. They feel like they took a dive
Hmm.
with COVID. Their finances took a hit. Their mental health took a hit. Their relationships took a hit. Their families took a hit. They
Yes.
lost important people,
Yeah.
and they're still reeling from it and really trying to figure it out. And it's like, okay, well, people are acting like COVID is gone. No, COVID is still here and people are still dealing with things. And I just, this feeling of hopelessness and desperation and overwhelming and sadness is something that, a lot of people just really aren't addressing or talking about.
Right.
Like people are trying to put it under the rug and just be like, oh, pray it away, or you'll be okay, you just need some time to yourself, or just be around your family, be around your loved ones, you'll eventually get over it. So I really just wanted to address that today with you. Like there's so many questions, topics I want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all of that. Thank you for having me again. I definitely appreciate it because just knowing you, and I know the people that you know, so I am honored that you asked me to come on because y'all, Shay knows some of everybody. Let me tell you something. Her network is super extensive, so I definitely appreciate that, and I don't take it lightly. So to kind of answer some of the questions, so yes, Cree Cunningham or Lucretia Cunningham, but I go by Cree Cunningham, LCSW. So I am a licensed clinical social worker, but I am also a spiritualist, an herbalist, and intuitive. What that means is that I am able to receive messages from God and from spirit and to intuit and help people to find their way and find their way through situations. And I do that by creating a bridge between the mental health, the spiritual, the physical, the cultural, right? And the emotional. So, what I do is just really sit at that intersection of all of those things and help you to create a path or see the path that's already been created for you so that you can live better, so you can love better, and essentially just be better all around. And so that is really what brought me to Healing Sacred Scars. The name was dropped in my spirit, right? So Healing
Love it.
Sacred Scars was
Love
really just dropped in my spirit because I wanted something that spoke to what I do. I wanted something that highlighted what we feel and what we have, but not in a stigmatized way, right? I wanted to honor the sacred space that is our traumas, our experiences,
it.
our past, our hurts, and all of those things. And I chose scars because a scar represents something that is healed, right?
Yes.
Um, and I wanted to, in the name, kind of take you through that journey as well, right? And then also for me, it represents the fact that we have ancestral traumas and ancestral and generational curses and things that we are healing, and that we in this lifetime will heal for future generations, and also are able to heal for those generations that experience it. Because again, time is an illusion, right? So the
Right.
work that we do now is able to heal our lineage back and forward. And so healing sacred scars represents that. My logo, the Nyame Dua, it actually represents a sacred space where healing happens. Back in, the continent, people would gather around a certain tree, like the tree of life, that was where people gathered to heal, to talk, to do the things. And so I wanted to bring all of that into today and what I do and how I do it, because everything that I do, even though I have the degrees, I'm about to get more degrees, and I have the licenses and the CUs and all of that, everything that I do is spirit led first,
Right.
right? And if
I
God
love
isn't
that.
in it, then I don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's how
Yeah.
we got the name.
Awesome. And I love that you said spirit led, because that's what I consider myself and I describe myself as a spirit led entrepreneur. Like I'm really, I focus on my relationships, my business dealings, like anything I do. I feel like if my spirit is not leading me to it and speaking it
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's just not something I'm going to do with.
Yeah,
I'm going to deal with. And it took me a minute to get to that point. I think, when you're younger, you might fall into that trap of people pleasing, but as you get older, you're like, you know what, I need to do what my spirit is leading me to do. I need to
yeah.
do what feels good, what feels natural, what feels right.
Exactly. I
Right.
can't see the comment. Someone said something this morning. I know this is part of God's design for me. I receive all you ladies are sharing. Thank you so much for allowing yourselves to share. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. I can't see
Oh,
who it's from. I'm trying to watch the comments as we talk too.
hold
Because
on. Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it. Okay, I see people joining. Hi, everyone. If you're just coming on.
um,
Oh, yeah, that was Herbal Sensations.
oh
Is
yes. Well,
that?
thank you,
Yes.
sis. Um,
Yes,
and
it
I'm
is
glad you
all.
said that. So as we get into just healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that I really try to impress upon my clients,
Mm-hmm.
is that this healing thing isn't just me telling you what to do,
Right.
right? You have your own guidance sensor that is inside of you, right? That is given to you by your creator, that guides you and leads you. And if you're tapping in and if you're in alignment, then you can hear. And so all I'm here to do is to help you open up those parts of you, right? All I'm here to do is to kind of be a guide, as an earthly guide, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you maneuver these spaces. But healing is very much a self thing. It's the inner,
Right.
right? And so no one can really heal you,
Right.
right? There has to, first of all, even if you are sent to a doctor or clinician or practitioner or something like that because of, their specialty and their modality, there still has to be the intention that you have in order for it to work,
Yes.
right? So that's the first step to really tapping into healing, is being able to tap into you and being able to hear the voices that are convicting you, that are guiding you, being open, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. VV Fly Girl said that's discernment. I think she was talking about the comment made by Herbal Sensations. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so I want to touch on some of these questions that I
Yes.
have, topics. So let's just go well, this first one, and you kind of mentioned it in the thing that you just, what you just stated. I said, how do you define self-care? What does it mean to you, and how important is it? And I think that's what you were talking, you started when you said the first
Started.
step is.
Yeah. Very much so, right? Because self-care has become so trendy, right? And
Yeah,
I love that it is
self-care
trendy.
Sundays.
Right. So I love that it's trendy. I love that there's awareness, but not but, and there
Right,
are some misconceptions, right? There
right.
are some misconceptions, and we don't get the full story. So you see a meme about getting a massage or taking some time for you, but then when you take time for you, what are you doing in that taking time for you? So self-care really looks like, again, tapping into what you need, however that looks. So if what you need is a walk around the block, that's self-care. If what you need is some more guidance and more direction because you feel a little off balance, you feel out of alignment, you may be confused, and you know that we don't live in confusion when we're in alignment. So if you're feeling confused, then maybe what you need is guidance, and that may look like a therapist, that may look like a clinician, that may look like a spiritual practitioner or a pastor or whatever resonates within you, right? That's self-care. Self-care are the things that you do to take care of yourself, your spirit, your mind, your body, your soul, right? Your emotions, right? Self-care is taking care of the whole of you. So it isn't just material. It isn't just in, different experiences like massages or pedicures or facials, which are great because your body needs the attention. But self-care also looks like meditation, right? Yeah. Self-care looks like prayer. Self-care looks like starting your days with intention, right?
Absolutely.
Self-care looks like creating a routine around how you wake up in the morning, what you do before you go to bed at night. Self-care is saying no to things that don't serve you.
Amen.
Right?
Yes.
Self-care is saying no and allowing no to be a complete sentence and being okay with that. Self-care is valuing yourself, right? Self-care is creating yourself worthy enough to have boundaries and to let them stay in place. And then when people decide to leave because they don't like your boundaries, you allow them to go because you care enough about yourself to honor what you put forth that works for you, right?
Yes.
So I don't want to talk too much. Interject if you have something, because this one,
I am agreeing with all of that. I'm like, yes, I'm listening to all that. Like, yes, that is self-care. Is like you said, while those things are important, being, because I love to be pampered. I love getting massages and pedicures and facials. Like, what woman doesn't? Okay, like I love all of that. But yes, self-care is honestly, like you said, saying no to something that does not sit well with you, removing yourself from toxic situations, toxic relationships, like meditation, spending time with yourself, getting to know who you are.
Self-care is separation. Yes, I tell people all the time, self-care is separation. It's separating you from the things that aren't for your highest good. Right? That's the bottom line of self-care, separating yourself from the things that don't honor your highest good, right? And then indulging in the things that do.
Yes.
And so that is part of healing, knowing how to take care of yourself, right? And some of us don't know how because we weren't taught. Like, we just weren't taught the things. And that looks like trying new things, right? That looks like making mistakes even. Self-care can be making a mistake. Oh, I want to try a new business. I feel like this business will really, help me flourish or allow me to do something that I wanted to do, but I put down. So let me try it. Trying that business and then failing or deciding, it's not really what I want to do is self-care, because now you've taken care of something that you wanted to do. You've taken care of something that sat on your heart. And even if it didn't work out, or even if it didn't yield the result that you thought it did, you still gave yourself space to do it. That's self-care.
Yeah. It's like almost like with investing. Like that was one of the things that I used to be so scared of, investing in the stock market or because I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. What if I make a mistake? I'm wasting my money, whatever. But it's like you said, it's doing something that you feel like will benefit you in the long run. You're taking a chance and if it doesn't, it may not turn out the way you want it to. That stock might bust, who knows, whatever. But at least you're taking the action. You're not saying I'm scared to, you can't be scared to do it. Like there's nothing wrong with being scared to do it, but do it anyway. Like, I think that's self-care as well. Like, just do it anyway. Do it afraid.
I think, just to touch on that a little bit, we oftentimes mix being scared and being fearful, right? And we think those two are the same, and they're not. You
Right.
can be scared or something because it's a different situation when you're unknown. I mean, if somebody jumps out and says boo, like, you might get scared, right? But you didn't fear that path that you were walking before. It's just something that jumped out and hit you and kind of startled you, right? To
Right.
be scared sometimes is just to be startled a little bit, to maybe be hesitant sometimes. You can be scared of something, right, and still go through it, right?
Yes.
Because that's how we combat like phobias and things.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are operating in fear, right, that's the different dynamic. Fear is a different level. Fear is deeper. Fear is soul level, right?
Yeah.
Fear really creates obstacles and keeps you from things. And so I want people to know that too. Like, you can absolutely move forward being a little scared.
Yes.
You can,
Yeah.
right? But as long as you're not moving forward in fear,
Yeah. Oh, I love that breakdown.
you
That's
know.
that's great. Okay, so and while we're talking, okay, so let's get on social media. Because I mean, I love social media. I really do. Like, it's a great tool for marketing. It's a great way to keep in touch with family, friends. It's a great way to you know, promote your business, whatever,
Right,
promote
right.
events. But I feel, not I feel, I know for a fact that a lot of people feel that, you know, if they're not living the way they see other people living on social media, that they somehow are not living their best life. You know what I mean? Or they haven't accomplished something, or they failed somewhere. So I know one of the things I was talking to someone about the other day, um, is, you know, do you really think that everybody on social media who claims that their life is oh so great, you know, really has it like that? Like, it's just, you know, people are going, of course, we're always going to put our best face forward on social media. You know what I mean? Everyone's not going to put what really, really happens to them. But, you know, do you think that social media has people feeling like, especially today, like, yeah, like they failed in life, or like, you know, they're really not accomplishing something if they're not making six figures, or making seven figures, or that they're married or have
Mhm.
kids, or, you know, or whatever, that they're, you know, on their own. You know, people who had to move back in with family members are like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just failed now I'm having to move back in. Like, what's wrong with community helping community?
So this is one that I really feel a way about, right? Because when you work in this sort of discipline and this industry, I see the best and the worst of people,
Yeah.
right? And so, and then when you have certain gifts where you can really see people past what they put forward, you see the core and the heart of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing on social media now is a lot of people really just trying to create the themselves that they want to be. And so we have a lot of influencers, and there's nothing wrong with being an influencer, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we have a lot of people that are portraying a lifestyle that most of them don't live. Or
Right.
if they do live it, they kind of struggle in it. Or they're portraying a lifestyle that, and they may very well live this lifestyle, but the heart is hurt, right? Um, the core is hurt. They're not happy.
Right.
And I think because we have become so social media centered that people have went from looking at kind of role models in the community, people that really build business, that build kingdom, that are blessings to other people. We went from looking at those as the model to
Mm-hmm.
the social media, the influencers, the content creators as the
Right.
model. And because it is, because people portray the lifestyle, they portray the luxury. And who doesn't want luxury? Who doesn't want
Right.
life? Right. But what's lost in it is, number one, it's just not everybody's calling for this life, right? You can have whatever you like. I feel like we were designed and created to be able to create life by design,
Absolutely.
but that depends on the work you do,
Yes.
right? And so you don't see the work behind it. I love that yesterday, actually, Tiffany Alashay, the Budgetnista, she did a live, and she'll pop on here and there and do lives. And I love how she talked about kind of her crew and the girls, that you want to see out. They're taking vacations, they're doing this, doing that. And she's like, and they're making money and they're business owners and they're doing the things, but they're not happy or they're struggling, right? Or there are challenges in different areas that people don't see. And it's because they're kind of, there is this idea of always wanting more, always needing more, always, which is cool. But I love that she talked about enough. And I really think that what it is now is that we haven't come to an understanding. And when I say we, I mean each of us and everyone connected to us and under the sound of my voice even. Not all of us have come to understand what is enough for us, right? What life should look like for us. Do you want a Tesla because this is what you see, right? And it's cool and it's trendy and this is what the hot boys have? Or do you want a Tesla because it'll be efficient for your family, right? Is that price point within your budget? And if the things you want are not within your budget right now, then what are you doing constructive to create and expand your budget so that it is, right? So we don't go into it with these ideas. We go into it, and a lot of people go into things for the look of it. Who you stunting for, right?
Right.
Because when you're laid up in a hospital, are those same people coming? Do they matter? And so for the younger generation especially, I really try to reach them because they are growing up with so much media, right? They're growing up with so many ideas of what life is supposed to be. And you want to be at the party and we pop bottles. And, I pop bottles with the best of them and it's cool and all. But like once that bottle is gone, what's left? Right. Pop bottles don't last.
Right. What do you do to that pop bottle?
Like, what do you do after? Nothing. Literally, they take the glasses and the things and, you go home from the club. But what are you going home to? So did you just spend this $3,000 on a section to pop for the gram one night, and then now you're struggling for the next 3 months to pay your bills or to eat healthy? Like, are we spending, $500 on a bag, but you won't go to a farmer's market and spend $10 on organic produce that's going to feed your body, right? That's going to heal yourself. Right. So it's what they see is what we see, but it's also because we don't know who we are. If you don't know who you are, then you will be caught up in what you see.
Right. That's why I said take charge of your healing. So let's see some of these comments. VV Fly Girl was saying they feel like failures. Yes, people absolutely do. When they see all these things on social media, they're like, oh, I'm not living, the best life. AustinJ.com. No one posts their bills on social media. Absolutely not.
They don't. And I can't see the comments. I hate that. I could.
You can't. Oh my God.
No. Okay, go ahead. Keep reading.
A lot of people do what they say, put on for the gram. No one should allow themselves esteem to lower because their life is different. Absolutely not. No. Social media, IG specifically, is responsible for a lot of mental issues.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I am so big on community. I can't watch my brother, sister starve, and I have an abundance of. That's right.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things we've really gotten away from, I think. Well, as a whole, like I see different pockets of community, but that is one of the things that we don't really get from social media, right? You don't see that a lot. And I would love to see more, which is why we create spaces like this. This is why I have Talk Tokens on Thursday, because that is a collective conversation for everybody to come in, to tap in, to share energy, to get what we need, right? To exchange, because we were designed to commune with one another.
Right.
We were designed to share information. It's like, I see so much, and even me as a clinician, I know I give away a lot of free game, right? I give away a lot of free game. Mm-hmm. And I constantly get people and my friends like, yo, why do you give away so much free? Why do you tell people so much for free? Why do you keep doing these lives for free? Why do you do these workshops for free? And it's because I see so much out here that people are charging for that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's bumfuck wrong. Y'all know I curse, so my bad. But like this is wrong, right? That is misconstrued, that is unexplained, and people are charging for it. And my job is to help heal. My job is to lift the vibration of the collective. And so some of it, I just got to give away because I need you to see it.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Because and then I realized that so many people have spent so much money on stuff that didn't help.
Truly didn't.
Right? Because it came from someone that was well known, or it came from an influencer, or somebody had, 100,000 followers. So it's like, oh, well, this must be good because people are following them, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
At
right?
all.
At all. And so now they're running in circles, and now they're teaching other people to run in circles. And my job and my commission is to help people come out of that circle so that you can run a straight path. It might be some dips and some curves, but I'm supposed to help you be on that path. And so if I have to do it and just give it away, I know my abundance is coming in other ways because I am abundant in all areas of my life, right? Abundance is my norm. So I'm not worried about $5 on a live, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm about to say, oh, don't get you to preaching this morning.
So I'm gonna sit my seat.
Okay. Oh,
what's the next question?
We got sis. My sis Mimi Davis says, OMG, this message needs awesome nuggets, ladies. Thanks, sis. We are our brother's keeper. Yes, BB Fly Girl.
Yeah.
Social media shows the wins. Your village shows the work. I got talk tokens for sale. Cree left a bunch of them over here and I saved them. For rock star. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Okay. Next question. And I think we've sort of answered some of these.
Yeah.
Here's okay. A lot of us are living our day-to-day life with the trauma and pain from our past. Okay. Mm-hmm. When it doesn't get addressed, it shows up magnified in other ways. How important is it to heal from our traumas of the past rather than suppress it or try to forget it?
Girl, bye.
Because a lot of people try the whole, you know what, I'm just gonna forget that life, mm-hmm. and I'm not gonna speak on it. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm guilty of that. There were things from my past that I didn't speak about until I was well into my 30s. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and people around me never knew, like, oh, because I just felt like, oh, why am I dredging up, what happened in the past? I'm moving on my life. I'm moving on with my life. But if you never address it, it shows back up.
It shows back up. And that's why it's extremely important, right? Because it does. It shows up, and it shows up in ways that you don't necessarily realize all the time. When you don't deal with something, what happens is you just pile up other things on it. Mm-hmm. Right? And so now you're carrying this load. And when you're used to carrying the load, you don't realize how good it feels to live without it until you actually live without it. Right? Mm-hmm. It's just, let me see, what can I say that's really just it. You cannot move forward. You can do amazing things. Now, I'm never saying that you cannot do things without addressing your past. However, if you have abandonment issues, right? Or if you have issues with loss, like you lost things, or you lost people, or people left you and you felt it as a loss, then as you move forward, you will gain a lot of things, but you will also, or you can tend to hold on to stuff longer than you should. So if you have issues with loss and abandonment, and then you get in a new relationship and it kind of feels good, but it kind of feels bad too, you're still going to hold on and clinch on because you have roots in abandonment and loss, and you don't want to lose this because it's something that you've become comfortable with or accustomed to. So even though it doesn't feel good, you know that loss feels worse, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so then you sit in that, and you grab onto it, and you hold it, and you don't let it go, and you cause yourself more pain, right? You cause yourself to be stifled. You cause yourself to not be able to move forward free and
Right.
clear because you're holding something that doesn't serve you, because you're scared of losing something because you've lost so much. But
Right.
when you heal those things, right? When you heal those, then you have more of an acceptance of what happened, right?
Right.
Sometimes you even learn the whys of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and that's why I say that healing is such a multi-level process. It's
Right.
not just one thing and it doesn't look one way. Healing is not cookie cutter. It's very different for everyone. But when you have things that is in your past, those are your roots. That's how I can explain it, because I'm sitting here looking at my plants. Those are your roots, right? So anything, one that has tried to plant something, that has tried to grow something, the roots are very important. If
Yeah.
the roots are rotted, it's not going to grow, right? Or it's going to grow and it's going to be full of disease, right? If the roots don't have enough room in the pot that you're planting in, then a plant that's supposed to be 6 feet will only go to 2.5 feet tall, right? That's the maximum growth you'll get, right? A plant that has exposed roots. So that's when, like, you kind of had something, you kind of deal with it, but you don't, you put it down, but you pick it back up. So then that's what we consider exposed roots. A plant that has exposed roots will never grow, it'll die. And
Yeah.
essentially that's what you do to yourself, because now you are almost re-injuring yourself every time you pick this up and put it down, right? You're reopening the wound every time you pick it up and put it down. But actually, it's not even a reopening because the wound never closes. So now you're just irritating a half closed, half open wound, right? And so
Yeah.
that's never going to heal, right? And so in each of these things, you're causing yourself to either die emotionally, spiritually, right? Sometimes physically,
Mm-hmm.
because you just continue to give your life things that are harmful for you. So it's extremely important to be able to live your best self, to be able to live your highest self, and to be able to truly live how you were designed and enjoy it. That's the other thing, to enjoy it, to have joy in doing it. Some
Yeah.
people have millions of dollars and have no joy. So they wake up, they live in
Right.
all of this luxury, and they are fucking sad
Miserable.
and miserable,
Miserable. Like,
right? Right? So healing from the things, addressing the past, going through them, not just sitting in them, not just addressing them, not just, working on it, but like working through it. I tell clients, when you come to me, we're not just going to work on something, we're going to work through it. That's a
yeah.
different intention. When you work on it, then it's like, oh, I'm here, I'm doing this, or I'm steady adding to it. But when you work through it, you like, bam, I'm hitting it, and then I'm moving past it, right?
Right.
Right? And so you have to do that in order to live fully.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh wow. Okay. Yes. Some of the let's get some more herbals. Zensation says, Jim, speak it, sis. Comeback says, yes, you're the truth. Did I say it right? Come back.
Yeah, come
Yes,
back.
you're the truth. Um, I am a big suppressor and I recently had to deal with it. And OMG, man, shaking my head. It shows in all forms. Yes, it does. It never goes away. It just brings more pain. Suppression is so unhealthy. Ouch. So true. Facts. Healing is necessary because no matter what, eventually that unhealthy wound will be bumped, causing one to respond eventually. Addressing the situation is for you to truly live in your highest form. So
Yep.
very true. And speaking of suppression, um, I'm so glad that we're finally getting to this point where we're no longer, we're just dispelling the myth of the strong Black woman. Like, I'm so glad that people are starting to address that and say, like, hey, we don't have to be that person. We don't have to be a superhero. We don't have to have it all together. We don't have to not show that, we're worried about this, or we can't handle this, or we're concerned. I'm so glad that that is starting to fade, because I think as a mother myself of a young Black male, there are, there are concerns I have for his life, for his well-being, for his
Mm-hmm.
future. There are things I have for me as well. And I think we take on, I always ask myself, why is it when I hear things about, Black women in the medical, in the health industry, why do we deal with things at such a disproportionately higher rate than other races? Why? And clinicians, doctors, all the experts, like, they have no explanation for it. They're like, like, Black women are more likely to die from breast cancer than white women, even though we may not get it as much as they, we get it at a lesser rate than they do. Fibroids occur in women, but Black women get it at a much higher rate than any other race. Like, all these things that affect us, like high blood pressure, for Black people, we get it at such a higher rate than any other, in any other race of people. And, no one can tell me that that doesn't have to do a lot with, I mean, I understand your diet and lifestyle, but I think it has a lot to do with your stress, your
Absolutely.
mental capacity, like what you're taking on.
And it is a variation of things. Of course, it is diet and lifestyle, but let's just be honest. A lot of, our community, we haven't had a lot of the resources. We've lived in food deserts. Our comfort foods are fried chicken and, sweet potato pies, which are delicious, but and so it is diet a lot. It is what's in the food that we've had. If you're getting food from, and I'm not trying to shade anything, but if you're getting food from Food Depot versus getting food from a farmer's market,
Yeah.
somewhere that it was homegrown, and because there is a difference in the processing and the care of the food, but then it is also what our bodies have been subjected to, right? So, and I'm gonna go a little two-sided here, so bear with me. So
Go.
on the natural side, we have the stress, right? We have the socioeconomic things that we face, the challenges. We have the fact that a lot of us are in single families, or even if it's not not single families, but single mother households. But even if there are two parents, there is a lot of stress that comes along with being Black and being Black in America. And as women, the thing that most people don't understand is that women, we carry everything in our womb, right? Our stress, our emotions, our experiences, our traumas, all of that sits in our womb because that is the center of us, right? That is the center of our birth space, of our creativity, of who we are. And so what happens when you have all of these experiences, when you're forced to be strong, when you're forced to watch loved ones die and be murdered, and then still have to take care of the children and take care of the house and take care of the parents and move in all of these spaces, all of that hurt sits there.
Right.
Which is why we develop the fibroids and the cancers, right? Because these are kind of spiritual diseases that manifest physically, right? Even with a lot of clients in the mental health space, your mental health really impacts your physical health. We'll call those somatic symptoms when people start to have headaches and stomach aches and they're vomiting and they're nauseated all the time and things like that. When you have anxiety and then there is a panic attack or an anxiety attack, right? It is because all of these things that you experience impact your body and negatively affect your body. And so if we're not having the proper foods, we're not having the proper diets, and we're not having vitamins and nutrients that fuel our bodies and allow us to be able to combat these things, on top of all of the stuff that we are weighed down with,
Right.
we're not able to sustain, right? So when our body is significantly compromised with these diseases, we're starting at, zero.
Right.
To fight something that we really needed to be at 100 to really fight. And so that's why you see a lot of Black women not make it, right? And then because the healthcare system is totally different, because we don't get the care that we need because of the racism that exists, right? Because of the misconceptions about how strong we are. Like, there is, we are strong, right? We are able to handle a lot. We are able to finesse and maneuver. And that is the beauty. That was the glory. That is the grace of what is us.
Yes,
However, our
absolutely.
strength should not be our weakness. Like I remember in college writing a poem, and in that poem I said, I become so strong that strength is my weakness. And I decided at that point, like I'm not going to let this idea of being strong for everybody kill me
Right.
and make me so weak that I'm nothing for myself. Right. And
Yeah.
so we are taught to be strong and be independent and do it on our own. And sometimes we've had to do it. So now there's an imbalance of our masculine and feminine energy, because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. So now there's an imbalance, right? And so now we're sitting over here working in our masculine more, and we're not able to be vulnerable. We're not able to receive help, right? We're not able to ask for help because we've been over here imbalanced for so long. And then now that creates more disparity for us,
Right.
right? And so we're not asking for what we need. We're not delegating. And then when people try to help, we're not even receiving it. Some of us could have been saved if we had allowed people to help, right?
Yeah.
If we had said something. Sometimes all you got to do is open your mouth, and we don't. And so I think for those reasons,
Mhm.
and a host of others that could go on and on, but that's why we really see that. And so I'm glad that a lot of us are tearing down that idea of being a strong Black woman and are researching, right, and turning more into ourselves to look for remedies, right? We're looking more at plants, we're looking more at vitamins, we're looking more at nature and what's naturally here for us versus running to medications or listening to doctors that don't share our same ideas, our same skin, our same values, our same culture, right? That's the other part of community. We see Black women struggling and dying because we don't always have the community until the last minute. But
Yes.
if you go to somebody that looks like you, that understands you, and that loves you because of who you are, the
Right.
care that you receive and the information that you receive is different.
Amen. Oh my gosh, I totally agree with that, especially about um, having providers, having a community of people who look like us, who understand us, and like you said, love us. It's not just about, you know, collecting the money from you, but it's literally about, I want to see you excel, sis. I want to see you grow, brother. I want to see you thrive. I want you at your optimum health. So
Mm-hmm.
that's so important. Um, so I want to get a little bit into like some actionable steps,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So what are some actionable steps, because you know, you and I discussed this at one point, a lot of people don't really understand what resources that they have. What are some steps that people can take right now to take charge of their healing? You know, if there are people out there, and we know that there are, you know, dealing with depression, dealing with, you know, feeling overwhelmed, grief, loss, sadness, desperation, whatever. They, you know, they feel like their finances are just out of control. Like, I just feel like some people just don't know where to go, what to do. And when they get an answer of, you know, oh, you just got to pray. You just got to pray about it. Just take it to God. Yeah, that's not the only thing that
Right.
you need to do.
Right.
I,
Right.
I love my Lord and Savior. Absolutely. Yes, pray. But he doesn't want you to just sit on your behind and, you know, just be like, okay,
Faith
I'm here,
without works is dead.
Lord. I
Yeah.
need you to come and take care of me. Do
Right.
something.
Right. So yes. So I'll give a few here. I'm going to encourage everyone that is looking for actionable steps that doesn't follow me already. Follow me at Counselor Cree or Healing Sacred Scars. On my Talk Tokens series, I do a lot of this, and each episode we do talk about the things, and then we have actionable steps. So there is, like, I don't know how many episodes, because I've been doing it for like
Awesome.
a year and a half. So you can always go to my Counselor Career, my Healing Sacred Scars page, and look at Therapeutic Talk Tokens, and you can find some things there. I've highlighted, or I'll talk about what we talked about that day, so you can find what resonates. The first one I will say for now, though, is your mindset, right? So we start there. We have to start with your mindset, because that controls and manages and manipulates and influences everything else. So you have to be mindful of what you're saying.
Right.
You have to be mindful of what you're thinking. You have to be mindful of the words that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
Simple things like when someone experiences depression and they'll say, or anxiety, like, oh, well, you know, because my anxiety causes me, change that wording. It's
Yeah.
not your anxiety. You can say, well, I experience anxiety. And so when this happens, you know, I experience this, and
Right.
this. But
Not
it's
claim,
not my anxiety, because
yeah,
the
not
more
claim
that you
that anxiety.
call,
That is not
yeah,
yours.
it's
Yeah.
not yours. Like I know, I saw something where someone said a therapist told them to like give their anxiety a name and treat it like a friend. And it's like, no, I don't know why that would be said, but like,
Right.
no, first it's not yours. It's something that you experience, but it's not yours. And so we all know that when something doesn't belong to us, then we're more willing to let go of it, right? We're
Yeah.
more willing to give it away. So that's the first thing, being mindful of what you say and the words that you choose. Choose words that project life. Choose words that project positivity. Choose words that project change,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because you're not only speaking it into the atmosphere, but you're also speaking it into the soul you. And so now you're able to change you from the inside out, because as you change the way you speak, you change the way you think. As you change the way you think, you change the way you speak, right? So being able to correct those thoughts. So, you know, if something happens, like, damn, I'm never going to get this right. Change that. It's as simple as, okay, it didn't work out this time, next time is going to be better,
Right.
right? Not saying
Right.
next time is going to be the one, but next time is going to be better,
Better.
right?
Absolutely.
So it's choosing our words, because, you know, next time may not be the one. It may take 3 more times, but if you say the next time I do this is going to be better, right? Or the next time I do this is going to be different. Now you're giving yourself grace in your words.
Yes. I love that grace. I love that word.
Right?
We got to
And you're also managing your expectations, right?
mm-hmm.
So your mindset, the words that you choose will be helpful. Being intentional is another one. And I'm giving easy, simple things that you can do.
Right.
Being intentional in how you move, right? Being intentional with what you do. So that can look like planning out your days the night before, or starting your morning planning your day so that you move more fluidly, or you have an idea of what the day looks like. That looks like waking up and deciding what you want to feel that day. You know what? Today, I just want to feel gratitude. So then you start your morning in a space of gratitude. It's having that ritual, having at least 15 or 20 minutes for yourself in the morning to
Yeah.
just be, to sit in the essence of you, right? Because the essence of you is beautiful if you allow it to come to fruition. So sitting in the essence of you, and then talking to God or your higher power or your ancestors or the universe, whatever resonates with you, but speaking to that which guides you and saying, okay, this is a new day, and I'm grateful for this new day. And today I want to feel. I ask my children this, right? Because raising children, I am very intentional about doing things differently,
Yeah.
right? Than how they were done for me. Not that things were done for me wrong, but I understand that my parents and my grandparents did the best that they could,
With what
right?
they knew.
What they
It,
knew. And
it,
so now it's my job to do the best that I can with the new information that I have.
right.
And being able to bring information from the spiritual over into the natural, I tell my children in the morning, decide what kind of day you want to have. And you have the free will to do that, right? And standing in the fact that we have free will. So if you want to have a powerful day, decide that you're going to have a powerful day and take action in the morning to create that. If you like, my day is going to be blah because I just want to be blah, okay, that is your right. But decide that. But then don't go making anybody else's day blah because you chose for
Right.
yourself, right? So it's choosing for yourself, being intentional, standing in that intention, but also keeping it here and being mindful of what you spread, right? And so that looks like, again, prayer in the morning, meditation in the morning, centering yourself in showers, envisioning cleansing, like if at night, like creating a night routine. And if you know you've had a hard day or a long day or a challenging day, then when you get in the shower at night or when you get in the bathtub at night, envision that you are letting all of those things that you experienced run off of you. I
Yes.
tell people all the time, take a bath. You don't have to wash yourself in a bath, but sit in a bath because water is energy. And so water will soak that energy away from you. right? And then you're able to get out and you are now feeling lighter, right? And so it's creating routines and habits that feed and fuel what you need. Those are small things that you can do to heal yourself and to take care of yourself, right? So creating a night routine, shutting off the social media, right? Removing things from your timeline that cause you to sit in a negative space is extremely important. Like so much stuff happens and people like, girl, did you hear? And I didn't, because if it doesn't fuel my mind, my body, my soul, or my spirit, it's not me. It's not. Because my commission in this world is too high. You know, what I'm called to do is too massive for me to cloud my space with things that don't matter.
Come on now. You better speak that.
Very intentional about that, right? And then as you start to do these things, your discernment will clear up. And so then you're able to find and identify your tribe and community. If you have deep-seated things that you know are difficult, that you know you are not at this point just kind of evolved enough to handle on yourself, seek help. Call a licensed clinician, right? Stop calling your friends all the time. Like, you know, peer talk is important. Sharing is important. But a lot of times they got just as much crap as you do.
Right.
And they probably are not necessarily skilled enough to help you. They can listen.
Right.
But it's even in that, even when you're calling your people, like, and when people call you, being respectful of where everyone is, especially right now, because so much is happening. So we all are feeling. When you call somebody, if you are going to vent or you need to talk, starting that conversation with, hey, I got some things going on. Do you have capacity to handle what I have going on right now?
I like that.
Right? Because now
just dump onto them.
Exactly. Because now you're respecting them and you're telling them that it's okay to say no. So now your friendship or your relationship isn't going to become kind of, what's the word, at odds or imbalanced, because sometimes people feel obligated to hear you out. And then they do, and now they feel heavy, and now they don't really want to talk to you.
Right.
Or they kind of get a little distant, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to say, hey, it's too much. So now that creates free space in your relationships for people to say, you know what, I don't today, right? Or yeah, I do. And now there's more appreciation, right?
Yeah.
But it's also understanding the resources. Call a clinician, call a therapist, call a counselor, you know, call a pastor, but just make sure that you have discerned and prayed and meditated on the person that you're seeking, right? Or the person that you are paying, or, you know, whatever it is, however that looks, because everyone isn't for everyone.
That's true.
You know, I'm selective in the clients that I accept because I understand that everyone isn't my client.
Yeah.
I can help you find someone that's a better fit, but knowing that you have options, right? Knowing that this healing journey is yours, and every step you take, then the Most High is going to take another step with you, right? So it's being in partnership, right? It's being in partnership. Like, you can't pray about it and then do nothing. And then you can't do all the things without praying and ask for guidance. It's being in partnership. You know, I talk about ancestor work a lot of times because I realize that a lot of the things that I'm experiencing have been things that have been passed throughout my lineage. And if I'm going to heal it, or if I'm going to remedy and repair and mend it, I got to talk to my people to understand what happened, because I wasn't there. Right? I wasn't there. And this is something so many other cultures are much more open to talking and honoring their ancestors than we are, because we were told that we weren't supposed to.
Right.
But you'd be surprised how many people over there on the other side working for you, right? And are waiting to open pathways for you.
Yes.
So it's deprogramming. That's another actionable step. Deprogramming what you've been taught. If there's something that you've been taught in a religion, and even in your family that doesn't resonate with you, then start researching, start praying about it. Like, what doesn't feel good about this? And writing it down as you do it. Like, don't just do all this thing in your head. That's another actionable step. Write things
Journal.
down to get
Right.
them out of your mind, right? Write them down. Just what doesn't feel right about this? What pricks my energy about this?
Look,
What
Cree,
does feel right?
you've got some fans on here, Cree. Look, Octavia Seiko.
Oh,
Sako.
Sako. Uh-huh.
Yeah, she said, "What's Cree's Cash App? I'm growing and healing listening to this." Yes, Octavia. She said, "Love this." What is this? Asilama with production, spilling tea, snaps fingers and toes.
Hey.
Vivi Fly Girl said, "Speak it into existence."
Yes.
Comeback says, "Faith without works is dead. You need God and a therapist." Yeah, you have to take steps. You have to take, like, God is right there with you, but you know, the universe, whatever you believe in, but you have to do something too. It can't just be, I'm going to sit back and just let things happen.
It isn't. By the way, the Cash App is Cree Cunningham. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
There you go.
But,
There you go. You hear that, Cash App, Octavia? Oh, Octavia also said, Marcus said you look gorgeous, Cree.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay. But yeah, it is. It's partnership, right? Because partnership looks different. We have to understand you have to be in partnership with your spirit person. You have to be in partnership with your higher self, your Ori, right? You have to be in partnership with yourself. You have to be in alignment here so that there's a straight path, because you can't expect information and downloads and blessings to come rain down on you if you steady bobbing and weaving, right? Where's it gonna go? Like, you got to be in alignment, because it's a flow. That's why our chakras go up and down the way they do. There's a flow, right? And you have to be in partnership with the right people in the natural. If you see somebody's move, but that comes in your relationships too, your friendships too. If you see people that don't move the way that you move or the way that you are aspiring to move, then you need to get around some other people, right?
Yes.
Right? Again, self-care is separation. Sometimes you have to separate from what you're used to, what you're accustomed to, and what you know, so you can walk into what you're supposed to have. Right? You know, and so those are actionable steps, realizing and taking inventory. If you're not where you want to be, or if you don't feel your best self, okay, what don't I like? What doesn't feel well? Right? Writing that stuff down, and then going to a licensed clinician, a practitioner, a spiritual counselor that you can trust. If you get on a phone, like, I don't take clients without doing a consultation, right? And I tell them that I do this free consultation because I want us to be able to have an energetic exchange. I feel your energy, you feel my energy. So we know whether or not this is something. And if you talk to me and you don't feel safe, if you talk to me, you don't feel like you can be open, if you talk to me, you don't feel like, okay, this is a place for me, then keep looking.
Right.
Because that space is for you. And that's important, because in order to really put these things down and release them, it has to be a safe space. You have to feel protected. Like, I want my clients to come to me and feel like a hug every time we get on the phone, right? You know, or every time we get on video. Even when I do like talk tokens, like, I want y'all to come in and feel like, you know, you just laid up on my chest, right? Not because I'm mothering you, but because I'm creating a safe space where you realize that you can let it go and you can release it. Because I don't want you walking around with it anymore.
Right.
You know, that's why Bag Lady is still one of my favorite songs. You know what I'm saying? Still one of my favorite songs. So those are some actionable steps. Being mindful of your thoughts. These are things that you can do yourself. And I try to first give things that you can do yourself without engaging anyone else, right? Because it starts, again, it's the inner work. So being mindful of your thoughts, changing actions and behaviors that you know don't resonate with you, or no longer resonate with who you are or where you're going. Seeking tribe of like-minded people. If you used to go to the club every night and now you don't really feel the club like that, but you really kind of want to go do yoga, then, you know, move into that space. Start going to yoga. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, you know, I used to be doing this, but I don't really want to do that. I kind of like want to get into poetry. There's a lot of open mics that are free, that are $5, that are $10. Start going to the places where you want to be, right? And so you'll start meeting the people, because again, when you take steps, then the Most High and the spirit that you're in partnership with will take steps with you.
Yeah.
And then you open a space to attract what it is
What
that
it
you
is that you
desire,
want. Yes, absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So if you keep getting things that you don't like,
Come on now, Cree.
I'm just saying, if you keep getting things that you don't like, right? If you keep
Mm-hmm.
getting things that hurt, then we need to go back to the basics and figure out what it is that you have been doing or
Right.
thinking. Because sometimes it's not even what you're doing, is what you're thinking. You
Yes.
can be doing all the things correctly, but your mind plays a number on you. So now we have to fight those imposter beliefs and those irrational thoughts, right? So
Right.
we have to change the I'm never going to seek love to I am worthy of love because I love me and my God loves me, right?
Right. Yeah. You can speak all the powerful affirmations in the world. You can, meditate and num your rank and cure all you want to.
Mhm.
But if you are like you said, your mind is constantly set on, you know, this dismal life. Men aren't this. These women are all about the money. Oh, my job is this. Blah blah blah. Yada yada. I'll never catch a break. I won't be like if you're thinking like that. It doesn't matter what you're saying with your mouth. It doesn't matter that you're speaking affirmations. It doesn't matter that you're, in Zen, whenever you go to work, you're like, oh, I'm just at peace and by myself and I just keep to myself. But if you're speaking to yourself in a negative manner, that's what you're attracting. That's what's coming towards you. So yeah, I'm huge about affirmations. Like I believe in affirmations, but more than anything, like you said, it's your mindset.
Your mindset.
Mindset has to be in alignment first.
Your mindset creates the tone for everything that follows.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, this has been awesome. Look, we're a little over the hour, but that's okay because this definitely needed to be spoken, talked
Yes,
about. Thank you so much for all the gems that you
absolutely.
dropped. That was powerful. I definitely hope everyone takes a look at this, go back and look at it.
Yes.
Yeah. And tell us again, Cree, tell everyone how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, you can definitely get in touch with me through IG, here on my personal page at Counselor Cree, or you can follow, and you can get in touch with me through my business page, Healing Sacred Scars, here on IG. The website is www.healingsacredscars.org. The link tree is in the bio. You can always send me a DM, asking questions or just comments. I'm here. I go live every other Thursday. So I'll go live tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for Therapeutic Talk Tokens, Collective Conversations. So we just come do more of this. Usually I have a spirit-led topic, and then we'll talk about the topic, and I give specific actionable steps for that topic. Sometimes it goes a little different and spirit comes in and we just do messages, but it's a great space. And so you can always reach me there. Tomorrow, I'll actually do a live with Village Micro Fund, a new partner. And so we'll actually be talking about balance for entrepreneurs, and wellness balance. So if you're an entrepreneur, a budding entrepreneur, or even if you have a job and you're looking to create balance in your life, jump in for that tomorrow. And I think that's it. You'll see me here. I'm on Facebook, Healing Sacred Scars as well. So that's how you can get in touch with me. I'm always here. I'm always popping up. Got a live going on, in-person events as well. And I am open for therapeutic clients in Illinois and Georgia for traditional therapy. If you're looking for intuitive advising or life coaching, I can take clients anywhere in the world. So the link is in the bio as well, healingsacredscars.org.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, sis. I
Okay.
love it. Thanks
Mimi says
everybody that
thank
joined
you.
in.
Yep. Mimi says thank you, beautiful souls, for sharing with others. You're welcome. You're welcome, sis. Well, that concludes the IG live.
Yay.
And I am just like my soul, my cup runneth over. Like that did my soul so much good. Just hearing all of this, being able to talk with you and just talk through these things.
Yeah.
So, I definitely took some notes myself. Like, yeah, that makes sense. that absolutely makes sense. So
Okay.
thanks everyone. Have a beautiful day. Blessings and abundance.
Yes. Thanks everybody for joining. Peace, love, and light, family.
Bye.
Bye.